Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Thursday, March the 5th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to recover some of its recent losses this morning, with ASX futures up close to 1%. Global equity markets have turned positive following yesterday's steep losses as oil prices steadied amid reports that Iran is seeking a negotiation to end the war. Sentiment was boosted further on Wall Street with better than expected US economic data, the major indices rebounding as the fear gauge fell and investors chased tech-related stocks that were sold off heavily last month. Nvidia gained, along with Amazon, while Applied Digital shares surged and Tesla shares advanced on a buy recommendation from Bank of America Global Research on expectations it will become a leader in robo-taxi services. Shares of cloud infrastructure firm CoreWeave rose after signing a multi-year deal with Perplexity. Crypto stocks such as Strategy and Coinbase jumped higher, tracking Bitcoin. Drug maker Moderna surged after agreeing to pay up to $2.25 billion to settle a long-running legal fight over a COVID vaccine patent. Abercrombie and Fitch forecast muted sales growth for the year, factoring in the impact of a 15% US tariff while warning of a slight sales hit from the Middle East conflict. In Europe, Adidas shares tumbled after it issued a profit downgrade, and the world's second largest chip equipment maker ASM International climbed after it's upgrading its first quarter revenue forecasts. The war in the Middle East has widened, with a US submarine sinking an Iranian warship off the coast of Sri Lanka, killing at least 80 people. And NATO air defences have destroyed an Iranian ballistic missile fired towards Turkey. Meanwhile, the New York Times has reported that operatives from Iran's Ministry of Intelligence have reached out to the CIA for talks on ending the war. However, posting on social media, President Trump said their air defence, Air Force, Navy and leadership is gone. They want to talk. I said it too late. The latest US economic data has buoyed markets, with private US payrolls increasing the most in 7 months in February, while the ISM Services Index jumped to its highest level in almost 4 years. US Treasury yields have risen for the third straight session as the market considers the impact of higher oil prices on inflation and the likely monetary policy response. The US 2-year yield rising to 3.53%, the 10-year at 4.08. Australian 3-year government bond yields rose to 4.36%, the 10-year is at 4.8%. And the US dollar index has pulled back from multi-month highs as investors unwound safe haven positions on hopes the war may be less protracted than initially feared. The Aussie bouncing back to 70.8 US cents. Oil prices initially fell, then gained to be little change in a volatile trading session. This, as President Trump said the US Navy could begin escorting oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, while ordering the US International Development Finance Corporation to provide risk insurance and financial guarantees for maritime trade in the Gulf. Brent crude settling at $81.40 a barrel. Gold has recovered some of the previous session's losses to be up to $5,140 an ounce, and copper rose more than 1%. Iron ore at 102 US a tonne, and Bitcoin has rallied more than 7% to be around 73,000 US dollars. Locally today, we get the January trade balance and monthly household spending data. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.